Looks better in person. I still can break dance. So, just to reiterate one more time, told you to sell the SVXY, and I basically, if I'm telling you to sell the SVXY, I'm inadvertently, is it inadvertent, or I'm consequently, or in other words, I'm saying UVXY was a good buy. And I never say UVXY is a good buy. But I did post it on StockTwits, and I'll reiterate the story. When I said I bought 210,000 shares at $9.40, I hope you know I was kidding. But I did have about 1,200 shares at the time. I thought maybe we could rally into the close for the first time in 5 or 6 months because at that point, I had bought some, basically a nickel off the lows, and then I got some at 9.50, and I used 9.35 as my stop. If it broke down, it would have been another all-time low and another loss in UVXY long, but we had a sneaky suspicion that it was going to rally that day into the close because the market was kind of weak, and still the UVXY still couldn't catch a bid. But under 10, I thought maybe this thing could see 10 bucks again, right? More importantly, I thought if it could break over the $10.12 that you could actually rally 20%. And there you had it. So there was one thing for sure. There was no reason to own SVXY anymore. And I did say you might want to look for UVXY to pop 2 or 3 points. Now, I told you right in the video, I said, but I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do any trade I ever suggest, ever, because I am not a qualified person to be telling you what to do with your money. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I prove it every day. I have no clue what's happening ever. I don't even know why people show up to the chat room. But, weirdly enough, I did give another 4 winning trades today by accident, I guess. It was just luck. We traded, once again, the RIG, the FEYE, the VRX, SVXY. We actually did 3 SVXY trades at the end of the day before the UVXY exploded. We found 3 opportunities to buy SVXY, not for making a ton of money. One was good for like 35 cents, one was good for only 20, and one was only good for 15. And the RIG and the FEYE, look at the similarities on that trade. Tell me what are the same, and you will know why we did those trades. And then VRX on the short side, it's basically the opposite of the RIG and the FEYE. Now, for someone that's predicted a stock to go up 20 or 30% and not to have any right now, there's your fodder. If you want to make fun of me, there you go. But you can't, because I did get out of the SVXY in the 60s. What's up? Now, again, where did we say the Qs could go to it if the market did pull back? 108.20. Got to the 108.10 and we broke. Then we had the 107.90 area to contend with, and that's where we're trading in the aftermarket today. Now, I guarantee to trade today, and I'm not prohibited. I am prohibited by law to guarantee anything. Of course, if you follow me in any respect, it's at your own peril. You must realize that. I'm just a schmuck on the internet trading in his mom's basement. I have $4 to my name. I have no clue what's happening here. I don't even know how the market works and what's a bid and offer. No idea. I just know that I press a few buttons and every once in a while I make money. It's amazing. I don't know how it happens. But we did say that the Qs, if they broke down under the 109.20, we could get to the 108.50. The 108.50 led into the 108.20. The 108.20 leads into the 107.90. And again, I don't watch the Dow and the S&Ps, so I'll give you the QQQ prices. Now, what I did guarantee was that the SQQ, which is the inverse of the QQQ, somehow, some way would see $19. You want to know why I said that? Because I sold calls against my position. Now, I have had SQQ on as a hedge for quite a while. I bought some at 18. The thing was at 20. Then it only went back down to, what, 17 and change. So suffice it to say right now, my cost average is basically a cool 18 bucks. So I decided, I was like, you know what I'll do? I'll sell some $19 calls against it, which at one point were, what did we sell these at? 15 cents, maybe. What was that, a month ago? Whatever. I think I sold them at a dime or 15 cents. Because at that point, I was just trying to lick my wounds on this last 300 shares, thinking that I was never getting out of these things. But if they happen to go back to 19, I'd be glad to sell them. So now that it's come down to the week of expiration, and these are at 18.75, I'd have to say there's a pretty damn good chance I'm going to get called away. And doesn't it seem to turn out when you sell a call against your position, you don't want to be called away? So that's why I think this market's going down. Based on my measly 300 shares of the SQQ going higher, I base everything on that. Because that's how it happens. When you don't want to sell something, somehow you're going to get called away. Sell a call on a stock that's been doing nothing for 6 months. Next thing you know, 3 days later, it's exploding, and you're thinking, why did I sell these calls? And if I'm talking a different language right now about selling calls on a position, stop in. I'll explain it. Because right now, as much as the market's going down, the only thing I'm really upset about is bailing on my UVXY. And there was no reason to sell at all, but I did. So that's my bad. But at the same time, my boy Doug and a few guys in the room have been murdering it. And congratulations for all you guys. Hey, dollar cost averaging. I wasn't kidding. You know, this is why this stock is so addictive. Because there's not many stocks that out of nowhere can go up 100% in 3 days. But where there's addiction, there's compulsion, there's obsession, and then there's, I guess, addiction, compulsion, and addiction, revulsion. What I'm trying to say is don't get obsessed with it, all right? This thing could easily squeeze to 18 bucks. You could even see, I know this is nuts, but you guys out there, this is what keeps them coming back. You want to know why everybody loves UVXY and you can't understand why they keep buying it on the way down? Because every once in a while, somebody out there, like me, didn't sell it. Somebody bought it at 10 thinking this has got to be the bottom. Maybe that was his first trade into UVXY ever. So as far as he's concerned, this stock's the greatest stock in the world as far as he's concerned. I'm just saying over the last 4 years, all this thing has done is disintegrate and die and crush you as you're trying to wait for some miraculous pop. So now you're getting the miraculous pop. And I know this might sound nuts, but if we break, and again, I was looking for it to break 1483 today. I was kind of shocked at that time, but it's like if it breaks 1483, we have to get to 16 because 16 was the recent high and the algos love it. They love taking stocks once they break out of a range to a recent high. And I said, if we break 16, this one is crazy. If we break 16, the next spot for what I'm looking at here is we can get easily to 1692. Then you got 1753. And then the big whopper. Oh, yeah. The big whopper. 1850. This thing could legitimately be 1850 tomorrow. But here's what I'm going to tell you to do. I don't own it. I don't own SVXY. I don't own UVXY. I'm a trader. We had 3 trades today on stocks. Most of the other trades were on SVXY or UVXY. We don't own it. We trade it. Now, obviously, we wish we owned it because it's still going up in the aftermarket. It's 621 right now. It's still going up. The market's still weak. There's a million reasons to sell, and now finally they've all come together in one nice package that's made the market finally pull back. It's about freaking time. So interest rates, Brexit, terrorism, oscillation, bang, we finally get the move. And none of this move down would have happened without the help of the UVXY. I said a million times, don't stay long the market if you see the UVXY actually have 2 green days in a row is your first aha moment, but 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row, you need to be reevaluating what you own at this point. Now, here's what we're going to do for tomorrow. As much as I think this market's going down, I still think the downside is going to be limited. Unless the UVXY blasts through 18.5 and was sitting at 22 or 28 bucks and then all hell's breaking loose. But tomorrow, I'm thinking 107.50 on the Qs at least. We break the 107.50, we're testing the yearly VWAP again, and suddenly 2016 is a flat year. The Qs are going to be down back to 106.80, and then right under that, I still got some support, just 20 cents away, 106.60. But then if we break the 106.60, kids, yeah, we break the 106.60, that's the danger zone, and I think we get down at least another $1.20, let's call it 105.40, and under there, now we're talking 104.14. So if the UVXY keeps going up, you got to think these Qs got at least 3 or 4 more points to the downside. And when we get there, we'll start to reevaluate. But right now, again, you don't need to be an investor. You don't need to be a swing trader. There's plenty of action going on where you can get in, get out, call it a day, and then whatever happens overnight, again, you're going to be pissed because we're all thinking this market's going down right now, right? We were thinking it last week, and we made some money on the downside. But today, I was hoping there would be an anti-terrorism relief rally that we would show, solidarity, and we would rally. And I kind of mostly watched the UVXY explode today and picked a few spots to trade SVXY. So again, it could have been great. It could have been life-changing. Hey, the $13 calls last week were 20 cents for this week, I think. Maybe 25 cents, maybe 30, which are now trading at 4. So obviously, a $3,000 investment, you're talking about 10 times your money. For some of you, that is a life-changing event. And I would tell you, if I made 30 grand in 3 days, my life would be a lot better because I'd pay off my car and my 2 cars, and I'd have 2 free cars now. And that'd be pretty good, Make a few more extra mortgage payments, maybe pay down something else, and it would have been awesome. But I didn't. What are you gonna do? The only thing we can do is plan for what's gonna happen next. But me planning is just knowing what I'm gonna do when I see it. I don't put trades on too much to plan for the next day. Now, if we gap down tomorrow, I will be compelled to look for longs. But here's what I want to tell you. If we're gapped up, there's nothing worse than a gap that fails in a market that wants to go lower. This market obviously wants to go lower. It's wanted to go lower for months. Just, I don't know what magic potion they were using to hold it up. But now that we're going down, worst thing you could see tomorrow is the QQQ gaps up to 108.20, rallies 20 cents, and then rolls over, breaks the opening price, goes negative, and then breaks the price right now, 107.83. If all of that happens, I would actually go out to say there's a 98% chance we're going to see 107.50 tomorrow, and then about an 85% chance 106.60 is going to be touched, and the UVXY has got a real good chance of getting up to about $18.50, possibly $21. I know it's crazy that this thing was $10 the other day, but this is what it is. This is trading. You need to change your attitude on a dime. And I will reiterate again, one more time, if you haven't heard, I sold the SVXY basically near the highs of the year. Oh, so there's that. So yippee-ki-yay, all the SVXY for life stuff. It was a fun 4 months. SVXY for life. La 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 la. But you know what? Every trade has an expiration date on it. Just like every stock eventually seems to want to go down. There's, 1% of stocks that continue to trend up for more than 4 or 5 years at a time. Everything runs its course. And this market, again, you're seeing the UVXY go up 3 or 4 days in a row. You need to be on alert right now. This is not good. All right. And that being said, if we gap down tomorrow and catch a bid and rally and go green and the UVXY was gapped up and goes red, chances are we're going to rally. So that's how I'm playing tomorrow. I'm anticipating none of that happening. I'm anticipating the market gapping down and me saying, shit, I really wished it was gapped up and I don't know what I'm going to short, and then it just shits the bed. But the perfect opportunity would be a gap up that fails and we short it, or a gap down, we hold the bid at, let's say, 107.50, or let's call it, we're probably going to gap down below 107.50 if we do gap down. Let's say we gap down all the way to 106.60 tomorrow. And we hold it, we bounce, and we start to rally. And if we go green, it could be one of those monster rallies. And I hope you enjoy it. And remember, just email me. I'm not going to put the caption here. It's kennyglick@AOL.com. And please don't mock me for using AOL. There's a reason I use it. Yahoo emails, Gmails, they don't work. I don't know. They always have issues on my phone. I get these timeout bullshit. AOL's email addresses just seem to work well on my phone. So that's why I use it. Plus, you know, they work well on my computers too. So don't make fun of me. Make fun of my face or this shirt. See this shirt? This shirt is 17 years old. 17 years ago, I bought this shirt. First of all, it still fits. It's still relatively white. I still rock it. I got shirts you could use for cheesecloth, baby. I live my life. I got $7 to my name, and that's basically how I've kept myself alive in the trading industry. A little bit too conservative. If I would have been a little bit more aggressive with some of my positions, I probably would have made a lot of money in my life, or lately. But now I'm a very conservative guy, you know. I got the family, the kids, the dog, and the cats, and the hamster, you know, and all that stuff. And pot garden in the backyard, you know, I'm trying to, you know, get medical clearance and all that stuff. What did I just say?